show, stop the show, stop the project, stop the debate. Super Saiyan 4 is confirmed. All right. Now, how long is it going to be here? Is it temporary? Is it not? We'll get into all of that. But again, guys, welcome here. Welcome back. It's Coco Dan here. I'm the host and creator of the channel. And today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts, my reactions on the latest episode of Dragon Ball Daima. As usual, let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. And if you like the content, please hit me with the 3 strikes. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get into it. All right. So right off the bat, we started. You see the you see the thumbnail. But right off the bat, we started with Super Saiyan 3, right? I don't think anyone had a clue of what we were gonna knew what to expect going into this episode. We thought Super Saiyan 3 was gonna come in, Super Saiyan 3 Goku was gonna come in, and he would just, maybe wipe the floor with Goma, or a concerted effort, and then that's how they would take him down. Nobody expected Super Saiyan 4 to show up. But we start off with Super Saiyan 3, right? And he does a lot better than everybody else, right? He's landing hits, critical hits. He's going toe to toe for a while. He's even inspiring others. Look at you inspiring people. Shout out to RDC. But he's even inspiring others, like Majin Du, right? Majin Du was able to look at Goku, feel inspired, and he's like, okay, I and Majin Ku, I believe, comes up with an idea. He's the brainier one, right? He's the more smarter one, and he comes up with the idea. Hey, you know what? This guy, if we get him a cookie that he loves, he's probably gonna power up. So they get inspiration from Goku's, power up state, and they join the fight. And Goku's doing his thing. Majin Du's also doing his thing. I love how he was able to encapsulate Goma, and spin him around and do get some licks in, get some hits in. That was pretty good, and even like the stance, right? The whole stance of powering up yourself, coming from the belly all the way up, charging up. Blue does the same thing. His imitation of Super Saiyan 3 was also funny. Looked like what was it? Like slimy ass hair. But yeah, he was able to power up, and they were able to put the beating on Goma for a while. And he's the big bad, so it's not enough to do. It's not enough. It's just not enough, right? So we see him beat, Boo power down, right? He runs out of juice from the cookie. Goku can't handle Goma on his own, and he also, he starts to fall. And we see Neva, and I've always been saying this thing with Neva, the Namekian, the old Namekian, and this dude, he has so many mysteries. But we can see how powerful this guy is. As far as that world is concerned, he created the Tamagami. He created the rift between the 3 worlds. And now he's, he comes in clutch, right? He helps Goku tap into what we believe is his, latent powers. So that was pretty cool, right? At first I was like, okay, what is he going to do? I knew it wasn't going to hurt him, but I was like, are you just going to give me is he going to just give him some of his energy, to keep fighting? I'm like, bro, that's not, the Super Saiyan 3 was doing its work, but it wasn't enough. And then we just tap into it, right? We see Super Saiyan 4, which was amazing as far as the design, right? And everything else, but the design especially, because we see Toriyama pay I don't want to say homage or respect but he takes part of design. He, respects the original design by his artists, and he assimilates the same thing. The bare chest, the fur around the arms. His tail is back. The only difference is really more the hair, which maintains that reddish, pinkish, winish color, burgundy color, right? So it was good, right? He comes out of that, and bro, the visuals, Jesus. I think I've had to watch it maybe twice now just for this, but I'm still gonna go watch it after this, right? It's just I really just it's not if not for the time constraints or being able to having to get this video out to you guys in an early fashion, I would have waited till I had like food in front of me, just to really appreciate, settle down, no other, constraints or whatever, just to focus on the episode. But you know, life of a YouTuber. But um it was good. I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen it all over Twitter, watched it again myself, and the power up, right? We know he becomes more primal looking, but he still maintains his ingenuity, right? His originality as Goku. And who knows? Like, who knows now that it's kind of confirmed, who knows how long it's here to stay, right? They might pull that whole stuff. They're gonna pull the whole stuff just because we know the timeline of Daima taking place after Dragon Ball Z, but before Dragon Ball Super. So if you didn't know, that's the official timeline. It's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Daima, Dragon Ball Super. And if you read the manga, it goes past that, right? So it's never been mentioned in Super, which broke the internet, because you know why. But it's never been mentioned. People never talked about it. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's not canon." GT is a whole thing. And if you really think about it, not just Super Saiyan 4, but even the whole of Daima, the whole idea that they were turned into little kids and stuff, it's taking a lot of respects from Dragon Ball GT. And I don't know who was in charge of that. I don't believe Akira Toriyama was in charge of that, but I think he's doing it almost in a sense of, like recognizing that other person's work, right? Paying some level of respect or, mutual respect to the person, because it was still successful. A lot of people still liked it. But just because it didn't come from him, a lot of people didn't, take it as canon, which is fair. But with Daima, he gets to, canonize in a sense that person's work. The storyline might be different, but the designs are very similar, right? They're all small, and the transformations are there. The power is there. So, yeah, we get to see it canonized pretty much. So that was pretty cool. So we might see it in the future. Who knows? Like, because it's canonized, we're gonna probably hear one of those, "Oh, it was a temporary. I don't even realize what happened. Maybe only the setting or the location allowed, never to be able to bring that out of me or whatever." So who knows? But if we do see it in the future, someone made a killer fan art of but you know how those fan arts go, but a killer fan art of like Super Saiyan, I mean what is it? Ultra Instinct, Mastered Ultra Instinct, and Super Saiyan 4. Like, the white hair, like, bro, like what? What would he be able to do then? Like, just imagine if that's a possibility. Adding that primal instinct to Ultra Instinct. Yeesh. But still it was a great episode. Great episode. And we also saw something, just a quick side note that I actually enjoyed was before Goma could finish off Goku, right, when he was still in SSJ3 and before he turned into Super Saiyan 4, he's packing this energy ball, right? And he's about to send it to Goku, and he does send it, and Goku sends it back after, the transformation. One thing I do like about this was that Goma just sidestepped that. He just not sidestepped, but he just got out of the way. Like that is like breaking, almost like breaking the fourth wall. You don't do that in anime for whatever reason, which is it's common sense to us, right? We know, like, oh, you see something coming at you, you move out the way. But for whatever reason, a lot of other anime characters they wanna hold it back and fight it back, like push it back. Like, bro, get out the way. Like it's funny. It's like even if you did hold it, you still open yourself. You're vulnerable to attacks from the side. What are you gonna do, right? You can't try to punch back because then you get hit, right? So it's like he just moved out the way, and I'm like, finally, someone does that. I mean, I hate that it's a bad guy, but finally, someone does that. So that's just a side that I found out so funny because it felt like hey, you're not sticking to the script. What are you doing? You don't move out the way. You're supposed to hold it, and that's not the only time he stuck to the script too. But it's just funny. One thing I wasn't sure if I liked. I don't know if it's an animation issue or art issue or whatever. But I don't know about you guys. But did you guys notice if Goku's hands looked a little big for his body? It just looked weird. I don't know if if that's intentional. I can't see how that could work when you consider monkeys, right? They do have like apes do usually have really big forearms. So if that's what they were going for, okay, cool. But I wasn't sure. I'll have to watch it a couple more times to see how consistent it is. But yeah, it looked good. The designs look good. Other than that part, I wasn't sure about that, but that looked good. And I'm happy he has his tail, bro. I think he should keep his tail. Just do what Gohan did or Raditz did, sorry, where he just tied it around his waist and just keep it there. I mean, I know. Yeah, the moon and all that, but still, it still looks cool. Maybe they might be able to cover it up or something, like in a belt or something. But yeah, it looks cool and it is cool, right? It's strong as hell. He begins to weigh weigh in on Goma, like so it's becomes a little more one-sided. I wouldn't say fully one-sided because Goma is still holding his own, which is still crazy. I'm like, how strong is this guy? But then it's really like another part where he's breaking script. Goma is breaking script. Is that he's blocking a lot. Like with the like when I'm doing a Kamehameha, bro, you're not supposed to be blocking. What are you doing? Like this is the time to go like this and leave yourself open. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you blocking? This guy is not a team player. Like, you're supposed to be out of there, right? And Goku is, putting the hurt on this guy. But this guy, anytime he throws blasts, he's evading, he's getting hit. At first I won't lie, I was kind of worried because I was like, yo, are we not watching episode 19? Like, what are they doing? Why are they dragging this fight out? I really thought, okay, the SS, Super Saiyan 4 comes in, finishes it. And I'm like, bro, they're dragging this out. Like, finish this dude. Like, why is this? We only have one more episode for you to wrap the whole thing up. But when it was all said and done, I found I looked it up. I'm like, oh shit, I was watching episode 18. But it was still pretty tense episode. Goma was holding his own. He was doing all right, bro. He was actually doing all right. I think he was getting some hits in a little bit towards the end. But he was doing all right. I like how inspired everyone else wanted to join in. And it sucks, Vegeta couldn't he must have been really tired or really hurt because he couldn't join in. Or he didn't get to shine this episode at all. But my guess is that I'm getting ahead of myself here, but my guess is in the next episode, most likely he will be the one who finishes Goma off, which I hope happens. But again, that dude, Goma, just kept breaking the rules, bro. You can't be blocking. What are you doing? You don't block. You don't block a Kamehameha, bro. Like, you're supposed to take that shit, like, take it full force. Like, what are you doing? So it was actually it was annoying. I kept watching it and I'm like, why is this guy blocking? Because I knew that every time he blocks, I know that it's not over. So I'm like, oh, like what else could they do? And I like how Goku was able to inspire others, you know, like Piccolo and Glorio and Boo and Ku and all of them to try to jump in. They get washed, fair, but it was still pretty inspiring. Um, and that damn eye, who knows how tough that eye was? That eye was able to not just probably who knows, maybe minimize damage or make Goma so strong, but it also had the ability to dispel transformations. Yo, from this story, we were told that that eye was lost after the first king. I think Agura was his name, and Dabura, his son, then goes to Earth with Majin Buu and all of that, but he didn't have the eye. Yo, imagine if he had that eye. If Dabura had that eye, bro, I don't know what could have happened. They would have probably, we might not even be here. There might not be no Daima, no Super, no nothing. Story done. Like, because not only was that, did it grant its user so much power, but it had the ability, from what we saw, to dispel transformations. And even Goku's surprised, like, yo, this thing is that powerful? It takes away his transformations, bro. At that time, his highest, or his peak to win, against Buu was what was it? Super Saiyan 3. But bro, if this thing could remove transformations, you're done. Like, how do you win? Obviously, there'd be some way, but still, like, just logically, that fight would have been over. So good thing they didn't have it then, but we can see how bad it would have been for them if they did. And it's really powerful. We can clearly see that. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's wrapping up. Dabra, we got to see Glorio, get his call from Arinsu. So he ended up summoning the demon world version of Purunga. And I'm glad to see, like, the dragon shine. The design was cool, burgundy, go figure, or pinkish, go figure as far as the color. But it's the demon world, right? But yeah, it's there. I didn't know he could speak Namekian. That was cool. That was a cool touch in there. But it makes sense now that because he was in charge of gathering the Dragon Balls. For whatever reason, the people who always come up with the master plan of gathering the Dragon Balls can't speak Namekian. Like, and then it always fails. Like, imagine we get a villain who can speak it and he doesn't need anyone to do the legwork. He just does it. Yeah, bro, story might be over. But yeah, he summons Purunga. And yeah, I like how Purunga swats Goma away. I always felt that Shenron, Purunga, not the Namekian one, but I felt like those beings should be like untouched, like should be damn near Xeno level, right? But from what I understand, they are as strong as their creators. So because Neva is probably the strongest Namekian in existence, that Demon World Purunga is just swats Goma away. By the way, I hope Goma faces death or imprisonment for real, because that guy started this whole BS unprovoked. It's just, oh, the threat of these guys existing is so much, I got to take them down and just put them through a world of all that challenge. Like, bro, I hope he gets death or imprisonment, like banishment to the Phantom Zone or some shit, like Superman. But like, he needs to go through it. And I feel like Vegeta is the one who's gonna do that the next episode. We also see that Glorio is able to you can tell, right? You can tell from the way he's speaking, the language. He even had, I think, had child Poco at the end. He's betraying Arinsu, and he's gonna probably have all the guys going back to normal. If that doesn't happen, that's a real plot twist, because you could almost smell that from a mile away. But I think Vegeta will be the one. If they go back to their full sizes, I wonder if I've never been sure, but I have a feeling that their full size is much stronger than their chibi size, their small size, right? I mean, maybe it's obvious. I'm not sure, but I remember when Goku first turned into a Super Saiyan when he was fighting Glorio, he was like, "Oh, I should be able to do this now," or at this point, I should be able. So I feel like they're drawing on their latent energy, but they only have so much access to it as their GB size, as their small size. There's also the distance management, which Goku and the others were able to assimilate, get used to. But I wonder how much power they can even generate in their punches. Like are they, just transferring ki, and that's what makes them like knock people out one and done, or is that really because it's the child of a body? So how much power can you really generate? I think My Hero Academia also explained something similar with All Might and Deku, and it's like even though you're pushing out 100% of my power, your body can't hold it compared to me pushing out 100% of my power. So as an adult, right? So I think if they get back to their full forms, I think Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 should be more than enough to handle Goma. And we need to see him shine. I feel like the reason why I feel like Akira Toriyama left him out specifically for that reason. I believe he's gonna be the one who finishes Goma. Um, Goku's probably gonna be too tired, or something's gonna happen. I think now he's already been, his transformation has been gone. So I think Vegeta is the one who's gonna, after with the wish and they go back to their full forms, Vegeta is gonna shine. So all you Vegeta fanboys, don't worry, your boy's coming in. I don't believe Akira Toriyama would leave his last work and leave Vegeta hanging like that. I feel like he's gonna play a very important part in the next episode. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's so funny too how in the preview they didn't give too much, right? In the preview, you know how they always preview the next episode. They didn't give too much. They just gave quick Arinsu and the Demon Purunga. Usually they give you a couple scenes, right? Oh, here fighting, but this time they didn't show no fights. They don't want you to know we're at the end, boys. We have one more episode, I guess two more episodes, and that's it. We get to say goodbye finally to Akira Toriyama, which is very saddening. But man, what a legacy, right? What a legacy! What a final piece of work. This is one of the best arcs or best storylines I've ever enjoyed in Dragon Ball. Because I grew up, watching Dragon Ball, or I watched a little bit. Even before this, I had to go rewatch Dragon Ball Z Kai just to kind of catch up because I used to watch bits and pieces. I didn't have access to it growing up like that. But I tried to rewatch Dragon Ball Z Kai. I've seen Super, but Daima, man, it just feels different for me. I love it. I love the ending, the opening and the ending songs. Like everything about it is just amazing. So yeah, like the next episode, we're probably gonna see Glorio's past with Arinsu. Um, we know he's probably gonna betray her. He's gonna betray her, and probably Vegeta. Everyone's gonna fight against Goma, and Vegeta will probably finish it. Plus, that eye, take all that damage. Usually, how it works in anime or most fiction works of fiction is that it costs a lot, right? It's not for free. You take all that damage, and it's drawing on more power, but you might overheat it, or you might your body can't handle the damage or the power or whatever. Either way, Goma's done. Next episode, we just what I want to know is, does he die? Which probably not, but I just hope he's banished or he's imprisoned like forever, because that whole BS of bothering people who didn't do nothing to you, like, bro, just because they might be a threat, they don't even know about your world. You just went out of your way to be a dick, like, bro, they need to go. He needs to go. So that was a good episode, man. I loved it. I'm gonna watch it again and again until I'm tired. But what did you guys think about it? Like, what was your take? If you had to rate it out of 10, I would give it like an 8, just because I kind of wanted Goku to just finish the whole thing. But I would give it like an 8. But what would you guys, if you had to rank it out of 10, what would you guys give it? What did you like? What didn't you like? What things did you notice that maybe I didn't cover or that were interesting to you? Like, let me know in the comments below. All right, guys. And until the next one, peace.